Open all hailing frequencies, because since the last time we spoke, there's some new news about the Orville, about Season 2, and as such, that's what I'm going to be talking about tonight. Welcome to the heart of the stories we tell. My name is Rob, and tonight I will be reviewing. Obviously, we have to wait to see exactly what Season 2 is going to bring, but I want to talk about what I'd like to see and what we know about it. We already did a video on world building and a video on the aliens. Let's just talk about what I want to see next. First, let's address the elephant in the room. Disney is buying Fox. That's all but guaranteed at this point. So we're going to see some changes. But we also already knew that it was renewed for Season 2, and I don't see them changing that anytime soon. And let's be honest, if anyone knows how to merchandise, it's Disney. I can hardly wait to see the little toy ships that they're going to put out. Or maybe Seth MacFarlane with a little action figure. But first, for those of you that don't know, I examine stories, specifically in this case the Orville, rip it apart, try to figure out what makes it tick, how and why we tell it. I do other shows and other theories throughout the week. I post multiple times. If that sounds interesting, click subscribe, and let's start unpacking what it is I want to see on the Orville Season 2. And hey, for the first time in a while, there's no need for me to throw up this stupid spoiler warning I put up all the time, because we're just talking about what I want to see, not what I know is going to happen. But what we do know is that there's no Family Guy crossover. Oh yeah, and it's this year. See, there were some reports out that were basically fake news that said that we were going to have to wait till 2019. I'm going to guess that we're not going to get it in September, but maybe by October or November we'll get to see the first couple episodes. And remember, they already have one episode in the can because they moved the last episode of Season 1 into being the first episode of Season 2. But you know what? The more that I think about this, the more that I think I need to organize my thoughts a bit. So for those of you that don't know, I used to do this thing called Sensational 7 Countdown, where I would count down the 7 most whatevers of whatever I thought of. Well, I think I'm going to do that again. So we're doing this as countdown style. Alright, why 7, by the way? Because 7's my lucky number, and I just kind of like it. Alright, so I am going to start off with number 7 and work my way down to number 1, the things I most want to see in Season 2 of the Orville. And we're going to start this off with number 7. I want to see a more in-depth look as to how they did away with money. I want to see an episode where that we really focus on exactly how it works, because with people not evolving into different types of not getting past certain things that we saw they didn't, I'd love to see a breakdown of what works and what doesn't, and really get a good look at it. But okay, number 6. Repercussions. Specifically repercussions for this. I want to see how the Doctor and the Ooze can come to terms with what happened. After all, they were both victims in that episode, and maybe repercussions for that whole episode need to be done. But okay, on to number 5. I would love to see them do a day in the life of one crew member specifically, their new chief of engineering. I'd love to see how he comes to terms with being in charge. His leadership style was a little offbeat, but was really well done. And as such, I would love to see it, especially with how he comes to terms with no longer being able to slack off so much. Maybe partner him up with his good old partner in crime and see if what happens when one of them has more responsibility than the other. And then number 4. And this is more of a don't want to see, but kind of does want to see. I want to see a new villain. I want to see someone that's tough and not just the Krill again. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't mind seeing the Krill, and I totally know we're going to, but I want to see another villain of that caliber. And wow, we're rocketing right through these to 3. And with 3, I want to see more of the cross-cultural contamination issue examined. Now, we could bring that one alien race back again, but what I'd really, really like to see is other situations like it, so that we can examine exactly why the rule applies and when it should. And then we have number 2. 2 is kind of a hodgepodge. We have quite a few very unique characters that come from individual alien races, that they're the only or close to the only examples we have. I want to see other versions of these characters. I want to see other characters from their races so that we can compare and contrast how different they are, and in the same time, what their world is like. Maybe even a reoccurring character or 2. someone that could really show us another point of view from that society. And throw that drum roll, the number one thing I want to see Bortus finally sing. And I want to see them get something like Celine Dion or something to do a voiceover for him while he sings, just because that would be hysterically awesome after that build-up. In general, I just want to spend more time in this world. It totally is refreshing to make me feel like it's next-gen again. But at the same time, there are things I don't want to see happen. I don't want to see it fall into a crude pattern of development. I'd much rather see them keep this great thrust that they started with Season 1. And the whole theme of just normal people thrown into an extraordinary situation with technology beyond us, not to mention the great world building they've done, tells me that they probably will. But now, my question to you is one I'd like to respond to in 2 weeks when we do this. Leave me a comment down below. What do you want to see in Season 2? Or, what is it that I said that you don't want to see? I'd like to do a response video to that, as we all talk about what it is we like about the Orville and don't. And as we do that, maybe we can figure out what it is that makes it tap into us so well. And of course, like and share if you enjoyed this video, which I hope you did. It was short and sweet and to the point. And if you haven't already, could you please subscribe? YouTube's about to take away my ability to monetize these because I don't have 1,000 subscribers. But either way, when I hit 100, I'm going to do a special giveaway, because that alone is a big milestone for me, where I'll do a special video that I give away an Amazon gift card. For now, though, I'd really love to just hear your comments. This really is much more about community than it is about commerce. And I think that's right up the Orville's alley. But for now, thank you for walking with me through the heart of the stories we tell.